Hello everyone, welcome back with me, Agustini Pujayanti. So, in this video, I will give some materials about the change of active into passive voice. So, let's start the lesson. We will learn about definition of voice, active voice, passive voice, the change of active voice into passive voice, along with formulas and the examples. And the last is exercise. Before we study the change of active into passive voice, we must know what voice is. Definition of voice. Voice is the form a verb takes to indicate whether the subject of the verb performs or receives the action. There are two types of voice. The first is active voice and the second is passive voice. Let's see the difference between the two of them. Active voices are sentences where the action verbs act directly for the nouns or pronouns, which means the subject of the sentence performs the action directly. The subject of the sentence is the performer of the task in the active voice. And for the structure of active voice is subject, verb, and object. Whereas passive voices are the types of sentences where the object of the sentence comes into focus and what is being done to it by the subject is the agenda. The events in the passive sentences are described from the object side. And for the structure of passive voice is subject, auxiliary verb, plus past participle or verb 3, and used by plus object. And this is for the examples of active voice and passive voice. In active voice is the sentence is cat eat fish. In passive voice, the sentence will be fish is eaten by cat. So the explanation here, the direct object of this example is fish. Verb, which is the active voice, is eat. Then in the passive sentence, it changes to is eaten. Fish change position from the end of the sentence to at the beginning of the sentence. The subject is explained in the phrase by cat in passive voice. So in the active voice, the cat is the subject that performs the action of eat the object fish. Whereas in the passive voice, fish will be the subject to the action performed by cat. And remember, the use of preposition by is only applicable when you want to make it clear who is performing the action. The form to be in the passive voice depends on the tense in the active voice sentence. Why do we use active voice and passive voice? Here's the explanation. We use active voice because active voice adds clarity and places responsibility where it belongs. Active voice can make our breathing more vivid. Then we use passive voice because if the action is more important than the agent. If the agent is not known, and last, to connect ideas in different clauses or sentences more clearly. How to change active voice into passive voice? So here the explanation. The change of active voice into passive voice. The change active voice into passive voice in various tenses. The first tenses is present simple passive. We use the present simple tense for anything that happens often or is factual. The structure of present simple passive in affirmative sentence, The structure is in active voice. The structure is subject plus verb 1, S or ES plus object. For example, Ben walks the dog. Then in the passive voice, the structure will be subject plus to be is am are plus verb 3 plus by. So the sentence will be the dog is walked by Ben. In negative sentence, the structure is inactive voice, subject plus do or does plus not plus verb 1 plus object. So the sentence will be Ben doesn't walk the dog. In passive voice, the structure is subject plus is am are plus not plus verb 3 plus by. So the sentence will be the dog is not walked by Ben. In interrogative sentence, the structure is in active voice, the structure is do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus object and question mark. And the example, does Ben walk the dog and question mark. Passive voice, the structure is MR plus subject plus verb 3 plus by and question mark. And the sentence will be, is the dog walked by Ben and question mark. The next, present continuous passive. The present continuous tense, which is used to show that an ongoing action is happening now, either at the moment of speech or now in a later sense. The structure of present continuous, you can see on the screen. So in affirmative sentence, active voice, the structure is subject, is or am or are, plus verb 1 plus in plus object. So the example is, you are teaching him. In passive voice, the structure is subject plus is plus am or are plus being plus verb 3 plus by. So the sentence will be, he is being touched by you. In negative sentence, active voice, the structure is subject plus is or am or are plus not plus verb 1 plus in plus object. So the example is, you are not teaching him. In passive voice, the structure is subject plus is or am or are plus not plus being plus verb 3 plus by. So the sentence will be, he is not being touched by you. In interrogative sentence, active voice has the structure is or am or are plus subject plus verb 1 plus in plus object and question mark. And the example, are you teaching him? In passive voice, the structure is or am or are plus subject plus being plus verb 3 plus by and question mark. And the sentence will be, is he being touched by you? The next tense is past simple passive. Past simple tense is used to tell events that happened in the past and finished or ended in the past as well. And the structure of past simple passive, in affirmative sentence, in active voice, the structure is subject plus verb 2 plus object. For example, Raihan watched a movie last night. And in passive voice, the structure is subject plus to be. This past simple used to be was or were plus verb 3 plus by. And the sentence will be, a movie was watched by Raihan last night. In negative sentence, inactive voice, The structure is subject plus did plus not plus verb 1 plus object. And the example, Raihan did not watch a movie last night. In interrogatives, in negative, pas itu, Cok. Okay. In passive sentence, in passive voice, the structure is subject plus to be, was or were, plus not, plus verb 3, plus by. So the sentence will be, a movie was not watched by Raihan last night. In interrogative sentence, active voice, the structure is did plus subject plus verb 1 plus object and question mark. So the example, did Raihan watch a movie last night? In passive voice, the structure is was or were plus subject plus verb 3 plus by and then question mark. And the sentence will be, was a movie watched by Raihan last night? And then future simple passive. Future simple tense is used to talk about things that have not happened yet. In other words, we use the future simple to talk about an action or condition that will begin and in the future. In the simple future, we usually use will, shall, and going to. The structure of future simple passive. In affirmative sentence, active voice has the structure subject plus will or shall plus verb 1 plus object. So the second structure is subject plus am or is or are, going to plus verb 1 plus object. So the examples are, I will wash the dishes. I am going to wash the dishes. And then passive voice, the structures are subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb 3 plus by. And the second structure is subject plus am or is or are, going to plus be verb 3 plus by. So the examples are, the dishes will be washed by me. The dishes are going to be washed by me. In negative sentence, in active voice, the structures are subject, will, or shall, plus not, plus verb 1, plus object. And the second structure is subject plus to be, am, is, or are, plus not, plus going to, plus verb 1, plus object. So the examples are, I will not wash the dishes. The second example is, I am not going to wash the dishes. In passive voice, the structures are subject plus will plus shall plus not plus be plus verb 3 plus by. And the second structure is subject plus am plus or is or are plus not plus going to plus be plus verb 3 plus by. So the examples are, the dishes will not be washed by me. The dishes are not going to be washed by me. In interrogative sentence, in active voice, the structures are will or shall plus subject plus verb 1 plus object and question mark. And the second structures are is to be, am, or is or are plus subject plus going to plus verb 1 plus object and question mark. So the examples are, will I wash the dishes? Am I going to wash the dishes? In passive voice, the structures are will or shall plus subject plus be plus verb 3 plus by. And the second structures is am or is or are plus subject plus going to plus be plus verb 3 plus by and question mark. So the sentence will the dishes be washed by me? And are the dishes going to be washed by me? And then present perfect passive. Present perfect is used to talk an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. The structure of present perfect passive in affirmative sentence, active voice has structure subject plus have or has plus past participle or verb 3 plus object. For example, I have made a good news. In passive voice, the structure is subject plus have or has plus been plus verb 3 plus by. So the sentence will be a good news has been made by me. In negative sentence, active voice has structure subject plus have or has plus not plus past participle or verb 3 plus object. And the examples, I have not made a good news. In passive voice, the structure is subject, have or has, plus not, plus been, plus verb 3, plus by. So the sentence will be, a good news has not been made by me. In interrogative sentence, active voice has structure have or has plus subject plus participle or verb 3 plus object and question mark. So the example, have I made a good news? In passive voice, the structure is have or has plus subject plus been plus verb 3 plus by and question mark. For example, has a good news been made by me? And next, past perfect passive. The past perfect, also called the pluperfect, is a verb then used to talk about action that were completed before some point in the past. In other words, the past perfect tense is for talking about something that happened before something else. The structure of past perfect passive in affirmative sentence, active voice has structure subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. And for the example, we had saved your money. In passive voice, the structure is subject plus had plus been plus verb 3 plus by. And for the example, your money had been saved by us. In negative sentence, active voice has structure subject had plus not plus verb 3 plus object. And for example, we had not saved your money. And in passive voice has structure subject plus had plus not plus been plus verb 3 and by. So the sentence will, your money had not been saved by us. In interrogative sentence, active voice has structure had plus subject plus verb 3 plus object and question mark. So the example, had we saved your money? And in passive voice, the structure is had plus subject plus been plus verb 3 plus by and question mark. So the sentence will be, had your money been saved by us? And then passive voice without be. The verb be is omissible in English given the right circumstances. The verb be can sometimes be omitted in passive without losing grammatically or changing the meaning. In some cases, be can replace by a synonym, especially become or informal get. For example, in active voice, the police arrested Mary. So, in passive voice with be, the sentence will be, Mary was arrested by the police. In this sentence, we use be passive. And if we don't use verb be, the sentence will be Mary got arrested by the police. So we use get for replace be passive. And then passive of verbs containing two objects. After some verbs, we could find two objects. They are a direct object and a indirect object. In the passive voice, those objects could have a different role in the sentence. The passive form of the verbs with two objects is used to change the focus between the direct object and indirect object when they are placed as the subject of the passive sentence. There are some verbs which can take two objects. Some of these verbs are bring, get, give, make, over, promise, send, show, etc. With these verbs, it is possible to make two different passive sentences because you can use either of the two objects as the subject of the passive sentence. The structures of passive voice with two objects. The first structure is subject, direct object, plus passive verb, plus indirect object, plus by. The first structure, we start with the subject of the sentence, which was the direct object of the active sentence, followed by the verb in the passive form, the indirect object of the active sentence, and maybe by, the preposition by, and an agent. The second structure is subject, indirect object, plus passive verb, plus direct object, plus by. In this second structure, we start with the subject of the sentence, which was the indirect object of the active sentence, followed by the verb in the passive form, the direct object of this active sentence, and maybe by the preposition by and an agent. For example, in active voice, her aunt gave a doll to the little girl. In the active form, we can know this. Which one is the direct and indirect object? A doll as the direct object and the little girl as the indirect object. So in passive voice, the sentence will be the first passive doll was given to the little girl by her aunt. In the sentence, the focus is on the direct object, the doll. And the second passive is the little girl was given a doll by her aunt. In the sentence, the focus is on the indirect object is the little girl. And next, passive voice of sentences containing prepositions. A preposition is a word or group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, or to introduce an object. The examples of preposition are into, by, to, for, after, etc. When we put an active sentence where a preposition follows after the verb, example, break into, look after, listen to, into passive, the preposition remains immediately after the verb. For example, in active voice, they look for the baby. And the passive voice will be the baby was looked for. In this sentence, use preposition for. We use for to talk about a purpose or reason for something. So they look for the baby. That means they are looking for the baby maybe because the baby is not with them. And next, passive of verbs with object and object complement. An object complement is a noun, a pronoun, or an adjective that follows a direct object to rename it or state what it has become. After some verbs, the direct object can be followed by an object complement. A noun or adjective which describe or classifies the object. When these clauses are made passive, these object complements become subject complements. They come after the verb. And here the examples. In active voice, The other children called her stupid. So in the passive voice, sentence will be she was called stupid by the other children. So here the exercise. As usual, to practice your understanding of this material, I provide 10 questions that you can access and answer on this Google Form link below. So that's all for our material today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.